Hello, sixth grade. I hope you had a great weekend and had some time to go outside. I'm wearing my Go Outside and Do Things t-shirt because I was outside most of the day after going to church and got to repot like 30 tomato plants that I already had repotted, but apparently used the wrong soil and they're all dying. So I had to do it again. Anywho, let's go over the plan for this week. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay. So hopefully you're seeing my screen. And I'm sending you the battle plan. So most important thing is make sure you're looking at your battle plan to see when stuff is due before you ask me. I'm happy to clarify any questions you have or if you're a little confused about something, but I do want you to be more independent and try to figure out when stuff is due and what is each thing. Okay, so I explain it pretty well, I think, in the battle plan. I'm definitely happy to answer questions, but I want you guys to learn to be more independent. If it's an easy question, go back and look yourself, okay? Math for this week. Because we have a flex day on Friday, we are not having any assignments due on Friday. I'm sorry, we will not have any, I'm not going to assign any work for Friday. So you're going to have 4 days of work. Everything will be due on Friday, like normal, like Friday afternoon. But I'm not going to assign 5 days of work. It's going to be 4 days of work. Also, there will not be any required meets whenever we have a flex day on a Friday. Okay, so math for this week is lesson 71 and lesson 72 on Monday and Wednesdays when I recommend you do them. There is optional meets on Tuesday and Thursday if you have any questions on those. Make sure to send pictures to Miss Fox of both of those assignments. Remember, you're always doing the odds for your homework for the rest of the year. That way we have continuity. Wordly wise, we're doing chapter 9, letters A through D, exercise A through D. These will be due on Friday, and then we will have the test next week. So you'll have time to study and take the test next week for chapter 9. Geography. We are moving to our next unit on geography, which is South America. South America is like way easier than Asia. There's only maybe 13 countries on the whole continent. So it's a piece of cake. So you have still 3 weeks to work on it. So it's definitely not a priority this week, but just to keep that in the back of your mind. It's the same as last week or last time, where you get 100% if you get 90% or more in less than 10 minutes. So just send a picture of your screen when it's complete to Miss Fox, or you can do the paper test on Classroom, and attached to the email for this week is some paper tests and some paper resources if that's how you prefer to learn, which is totally fine. Okay, writing is very different this week. We're going to start a writing unit, not a writing unit. Whew. Okay, a poetry unit for 2 weeks. We're going to be, to make things easier, it's going to be what you did with Mr. Murphy last year for the most part. And you're going to have 8 poems you need to write. So I have information about this on Classroom. On Classroom, there's 2 things posted on here. The first one says poetry lesson. This is examples from Mr. Murphy on like the different kinds of poetry. So you can see here, he's got rhyming couplets, quatrains, haiku, different cinquains. So that's where you're going to find this first one, poetry lesson, is where the examples are. Okay. If you have any questions on how to write a specific type of poem, I'm here to help you. But these all should look pretty familiar from last year. Okay, so where are you writing your poems? You are going to write them here where it says poetry student assignment. And at the beginning, at the first slide, I have the directions. You're going to write 8 poems. I give you the first several you need to write based off a certain form. Again, look at Mr. Murphy's slides to remind yourselves of the form if you don't remember from last year. So you're going to do a quatrain, haiku, acrostic, limerick, cinquain, and free verse. And then the last 2 are your choice. So you're going to type them right into this document. So when you start typing, the second slide says your theme and your name. Do not leave this as your theme and your name. Please type your theme. What if it's penguins, if it's turtles, if it's hats, that's going to go here. And then your name, don't just write your name, write Miss Ballard, write Joanne Nowak, write Ingrid Revel down there. Your name, not like someone else's name, okay? Then when you get here, you can erase this part. This is quatrain title. This is just to remind you all the different poems you need to write. Please don't change the order of the slides, so I don't have to go looking for your quatrain or your limerick or your haiku. And then you can just type them in right here, okay? Now, going back to our directions, you need to title each poem. Also, adding color and pictures is optional. You can change the font, whatever you want to do. So it's not required. Okay. If you are really busy and you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. But a lot of you are very creative and you'll have a lot of fun with this. So you can change the color, you can add pictures, you can change the background. The only thing is I have to be able to read it. So please, 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 please make sure I can read your work or I'll make you redo it. Okay. And then when you are finished, check your work for mistakes. Don't be silly and leave lots of mistakes in your work. Make sure Miss Ballard can read it. Okay. This is due, the poetry unit is a 2-week project. So this is due, as it says on here, next Friday, May 1st. Okay. So you have 2 weeks to work on this. Some of you will get right to it and you'll write a bunch of poems in one day. Some of you will write one each day, and that's fine. So I split it up. If you want to do one a day with suggestions for each poem, you can do. Okay. History. You've got 3 things to do on history this week. Okay, so first thing you need to do, you have 2 readings, 2 half chapters. So one chapter is 28B, which is the Holocaust, which we've been talking about. And then 27B, actually going back one chapter, which is something, the rebuilding of the fatherland. Okay, so it's Hitler starting World War II, essentially. So we will talk about both of these in our next 2 lectures. So there is not a sheet on either of these, but make sure you're able to discuss. You might have a question in the future, so make sure to read carefully. Please don't make you have sheets. Read carefully. Make sure you do your work. Lectures then. So we're going to have our first lecture will be 10 to 10:45. That's a little bit different time than we're used to, so make sure you put that on your calendar. We usually do them at 11, but we had to move it this week. And that will be finishing up the Holocaust. And our second one will be on Thursday, 11 to 11:45, which is talking about Blitzkrieg and how World War II started in Europe. Okay, so that's the first 2 things. The third thing that we see do in our do column is our Flipgrid question. So there's information about Flipgrid down here. Please watch the video explaining how to use Flipgrid. It's a separate video from this. And it should explain to you pretty easily how to use Flipgrid. It should work on your Chromebook. Please let me know if it doesn't. Your Chromebook might pop up that says something is blocked, like it pop-ups blocked, click allow, and it should be okay. All right. Okay, literature. So everybody has discussion group this week. If you're reading Unbroken, you need to have read, oh, this is not right. Part 4, whatever. First half of part 4 is due on Tuesday of this week. Okay. And then we will have discussion. So boys are going to be 11:20 to 11:40, and then girls who read Unbroken will be 11:40 to 12. I have included which chapters are due. So if you are reading Unbroken, you need to have read the first half of part 4 for this Tuesday, and the following Tuesday, finish up part 4. All right. And then I wrote the chapters up here that you need to be reading to stay on track. If you're reading The Hiding Place, we will have our discussion on Wednesday from 11:20 to 11:40. everybody who's doing it will do it at the same time. Your chapters 10 through 12 are due this Wednesday. And then next week, you need to have read chapters 13 and 14 for next week. At the bottom of the page, of course, is the meeting schedule. So math review, history live stream, and of course, our discussion times. Don't forget, if you are not attending the history live streams, which is your prerogative, make sure that you do watch them though, or you are really, really going to hurt later. Okay, you're going to have a lot you're going to have to catch up on. So make sure you're staying on top of those. Lastly, on Friday, we have a flex day. But I'm going to schedule an optional if you guys want to get together social time and talk. So girls will be at 10 and boys will be at, oh, wow, this dog was tired when she wrote this, 11 to 21 hours, 12. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope you have a fantastic week. And that's all I have for now. So have a great week, and I hope to hear from you all soon. Bye.